Thank you for your patience. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. So before I actually get started, because I've been trying to start for the past 10 minutes, just let me know if you can see me, hear me live in the group. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? Are there? Hello, everybody. Okay, yay. Okay, yay. Good, good, good. Hey, Leah. Hey, Lena. Thank you. Listen, y'all know I'm gonna keep it raw and real. I am so appreciative of you all being here. Thank you for joining the Wisdom Fountain. And I'm not gonna lie, this is my very, very first challenge. Even though I've been teaching for years, I've done live events for years. This is actually my very, very first challenge. So I thank you all for your patience. I thank you all for your trust. I thank you all for showing up to be here with me today. So before we get started, I just want to see, I can't see everybody's names as they're coming up. So if you all would just kind of shout out where you are. Hey, Leah, who's here? Where are you at? Where you're signing in from. I know we have people in a lot of different destinations. We have a lot of people in the challenge from South Africa. I want to give you a shout out right now, South Africa. I know you may be having load shedding. I hope you're not. But if you are, I understand. The recording will still be here for you to check it out later. Hey, Rashonda. Welcome. Okay, La Puente, California. Richardson, Texas. Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. I know, it's 12:12 exactly. I think that's a good time to start. Pearland, all right. It's a good time to start and say hello because I like to respect everyone's time. And even though I had technical difficulties today, I don't want to make it linger or mess up the time. So, Shirts, Texas, Pearland, Richardson. Okay, Texas crew in the house. Houston. Yes. Thank you. So we made it. Today is Monday. It is the 12th of December, and this is the first day of the 12/11 7 Days of Discipline Challenge. So, I know that if you're here, it's because you feel like you have some stuff to get done and you felt like you needed a little push, needed a little help, and needed a little extra oomph to get it done. So I'm going to be with you. I'm going to keep these to about an hour because, again, everybody has stuff to do. You might be on your lunch break. You may, be running errands, but I want to get in the most that I can in the amount of time that we have together. So I'm going to start out the day with, of course, telling you who I am. So many of you know me and many others of you do not. So I would like to introduce myself. I am Tiffany Rochelle. I am a leadership strategist and accountability coach. I work with high functioning leaders to help them transition and to handle the challenges that come with leadership. And hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm getting a message from somebody. No, I'm not leaving anybody behind today because we had a little trouble. So I'm a leadership strategist and I work with high functioning leaders in order to help them to face the challenges of leadership. Now, what is a high functioning leader? It does not have to be a person who has a high title, even though I do work with some of those. It can be a person that leads an organization, that leads a household, that leads a ministry. So I work with apostles and prophets. I work with corporate leaders and business owners. I work with educators and ministers. I work with people who just trying to figure it out. But at any rate, you have decided that you want more from your life, that you have a higher level of calling. And so I'm the person who helps you get through those bumps and bruises that come with that. So you may know already about what it is you're doing. You have all the education, you have all of the clubs, you have the money, you can have the notoriety. But when you go home at night and you're trying to figure out what are the little things that are keeping you from feeling fulfilled, with all the things that you've accomplished, I'm that person who whispers in your ear and tells you you can, you have, and you will continue to go on. So hello, hey, South Africa again. Now, how did we get here to this help me speak, y'all, to the discipline challenge? I'm a high functioning leader, and I take accountability for the things that I need to do. And I'll be honest, sometimes, especially over the past year, the past 2 years, I have felt unmotivated. I didn't feel like doing it. I didn't have the clear direction. I didn't have a clear understanding. And if you're like me, I'm a very divinely led person. So I feel that I have an assignment that I'm here to accomplish. And sometimes the instructions aren't really good. I feel like I get instructions in Braille sometimes and I don't read Braille. Sometimes I feel like it's smoke signals and I don't know which way to go. But I have developed and been given tools to help me come to a grounding and to a center space so that even in the midst of the darkest times that I have as a leader, I'm able to figure it out. And by figuring it out, I don't necessarily mean I'm figuring out by myself. I figure out who I need to reach out to. I figure out what tools I need to incorporate. And I figured out what prayers I need to pray. Because believe me, I stay praying because half the time I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. If that feels like you, just put a 1. It's all right. We have free confession here, and there's no judgment, there's no sadness. If you've ever felt like you have been given instruction, but you just don't know how you're going to complete it, you know that you're heading in the right direction, but it looks dark, and it's like, is this it? Like you like kind of looking over your shoulders down the hallway, going, but this don't feel right. I don't get it, right? So I'm here. I'm there with you. And this year for me has been tough, like it has been for many of us. And as I got to the end of this year, I said, okay, here I am, Lord. You've given me a lot of assignments, and I started checking off the things that I'd done and then looking to see what I needed to complete in order to be functional next year and what I needed to put in place in order for next year to be successful. And as I was there praying, I'm like, okay, what is it that I need? What am I missing? I heard discipline. You need to discipline in December. And I was like, okay, I couldn't argue. Have any of y'all ever felt like y'all were called out? Like, you know in your heart what it is that you need to do, but it's not fun. It's boring. It's tedious. So that was me. He said, discipline. And then immediately started showing me other leaders around me who were also going through the same type of thing. We have it. We have all the instructions, but somehow we just can't get right. And we're frustrated. How many of you have been or feel a sense of frustration with where you are at this point of the year? Me. Frustration, let me hear, because again, I have responsibility, but I also have weaknesses and I have frailties and I have blind spots. And what I learned is that when I call on those who aren't suffering with me, but are journeying with me, then the things that I'm challenged with, I'm able to get a little bit better, right? So he said, do a challenge and invite some friends, invite some people, because we all need to get a foundation for moving forward. And so I did the challenge, and I'm like, okay, even though I'm not religious, I do things based on biblical principles. I do things based on godly assignment and alignment, right? So I said, well, what scripture is it that I should have? And it came to Hebrews 12:11. So I want to read that to you, and then we're going to get deeper into where it is, because I want everybody to understand why we started, why we're here. Hebrews 12:11 says, no discipline seems enjoyable at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it yields the fruit of peace and righteousness to those who've been trained by it. So that is the foundational scripture for this challenge. Therefore, the 12-11 challenge, which is we need some discipline, y'all. We have to get ourselves aligned. And let me take back the word have to. We are able to, and we are going to get ourselves in divine alignment so that we can finish the year strong and start the next year strong as well. So I've told you about me and why I'm here, but let me say hands up, yes. Now let me tell you what it is that you're going to get out of this. This isn't just about telling you how to set goals. That's not what it is. A lot of us have set goals, but here we are, right? We're in December and they're not done yet. So setting goals is not the issue. We're not here to make timers. We're not here to write journals. I'm a journal girl. I love journals. If I could pan around my office, I could show you. I have at least 20 journals sitting over there. I have 2 journals sitting right here. I have an electronic journal. I write the vision to make it plain, but sometimes the vision doesn't get activated. How many of you feel that? How many are journal girls? Write journal. How many of your journal people? Because I know there's some men in here. They're smart, they're few, but they're in here. Journal people. I write the vision and make it plain. But how many of you have written a vision to make it plain and you're still here? So what you're going to get, what we're going to get collectively in this space is not just about writing visions and making them plain, but understanding why we even made the vision, what we're even supposed to do with it, how we're supposed to get to it. One tidbit is, we always hear that God shows us the end from the beginning. So we have these big identity, big bubbles of things that we are assigned to. That we're like, oh, I need to build a school. And then we start looking at, oh my goodness, I got to build a school. I got to build a school. I got to build a school. But we become overwhelmed because we don't know, or we haven't sat down and disciplined ourselves to do the little things that it takes to build a school. I hope I'm making sense to you all and you can hear me. So from that, what you're going to get is decluttering your mind and your task list. That's the first thing that we're going to do, because we have plenty of distractions. We have plenty of little things that etch away at our time. They etch away at our mind. We have distractions out the wazoo. We have all of these things that clutter our mind. So this challenge is going to help you to declutter it. Right? The second thing is you're going to next organize, prioritize, and focus. So after we get the junk out, right? After we get some things lined up, then we're going to start to organize and strategize with what we have left. We're going to strategize with what we have left. Because I dare say after we get the organization part done, many of us are going to find we just got some stuff on our plate that's been keeping us busy and been in the way, and we really don't even need to do it. Yes. So declutter, we're going to declutter. You're going to be able to declutter your mind, declutter your closet. Yes. We're going to get decluttered in here. And what that's going to help us do is we're going to create a plan to activate to now this vision that we have that we've written down. We're going to make it plain, and then we're going to activate. We're going to create a plan of action that will get us moving to get these things finished. Are you here with me? Does it sound good? If it sounds good, put a 2 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat. If it sounds like it's going to help you. Oh, and the final thing is it's going to lay a foundation for next year. So we won't have to be back here at this place on December the 20, whatever, in 2023. Yes. How many of you are ready to not ever have this where you are happen the same way again? Not that you won't get demotivated sometimes, but you're going to be able to eliminate some of the things that have you here right now. You ready? You ready? So the one thing that I want to start with is talking about why we struggle with discipline in the first place. We struggle with discipline because we live, first of all, in an undisciplined society. And unless we are in a regimented religion, a regimented military, a regimented household. Many of us have lost the ability to discipline ourselves. I know when I was younger as a child, because I had to show up for class, I set an alarm and I had to be to school on time, right? That's a discipline. Setting your alarm to come to work, to school is a discipline. Going to school, going to class, going to university is a discipline. And what I find is as we get older, our discipline level comes down and our responsibility level goes up. So now we begin to operate doing things because we have to versus because we've decided to. And we've put an instruction and a format in place for us to function and to make those things happen. Now, it's not just because we're lazy. It's not just because we don't want to do the work. It's because we have now gained all of this access to information and entertainment and just stuff, right? Food. I mean, people record eating. We're distracted by the most menial little things. Families, our children, our spouses have become distractions, and we don't even know why. Because now we're not just raising kids, we're entertaining them, we're taking them to soccer practice, we're building up their IQ, we're giving them computers, we're doing all of these things, and each of these items on our life living list chips away at our ability to be disciplined. Another reason that we are struggling with discipline is because we're tired. Who's tired? I have been tired. And I have reached a certain age in life where sometimes, against my own personal will, tiredness creeps up and I need a nap. Who's part of my nap crew? Naps are us. I'm a nap girl, right? Taking a nap is an important part of my day. Sometimes I'm just tired. Our inability to identify the things that are pulling at us and pulling from our attention are some of the biggest reasons why we struggle with discipline. So out of some of the things that I listed, who can say what's their top distraction from their discipline? Is it food, eating, right? Some of us know we have to get our health together, but food is life. Sleepiness, tiredness, exhaustion, overwhelm. Sometimes we're overwhelmed and we think we're depressed, but we have too much stuff going on, too much stuff filtering into our system, too many things, too many people calling us, too many gotta bills, jobs, clients, husband, mama, sick parents, sick kids, well kids, right? And because we are living this on a daily basis, we're not giving ourselves credit. We're beating ourselves up. We're dogpiling on ourselves about what we're not getting done because we're not even giving ourselves credit for what we are doing and for what is impeding us from going further, right? It's impossible for us to address things if we can't identify them. It's impossible for us to overcome something if we don't even know what we're fighting. If you don't know what you're fighting, you can't discipline yourself. I'm going to use the analogy of military a lot as I continue to talk over the next several days, because I think most of us can recognize that military discipline is one of the highest forms of discipline. When people join the military and there are high levels of discipline, they're disciplined about the time they wake up. They're disciplined about the food they eat. They're disciplined about the time they eat. They're disciplined about the way they make their bed, about the way they wear their clothes, right? And that discipline is out of necessity, because not because they're going to die if they're shirt isn't tucked in, but it's because they're being created a mindset that keeps them focused, that keeps them regimented in order to move as a unit and to move precisely to a specific means. And so when people in the military are going to war, they got to know who they're fighting against. And so when they know who they're fighting against, they know who to deploy. When they're working for something, they know what branch of the military needs to go in and handle the job. So I want you to think of yourself as your own military base. You are your own military base. In this next week, you are going to figure out which tools and regimens that you have at your disposal and how to deploy them and when to deploy them in order for you not to just be in a chaotic state, for you not to be overwhelmed and overcome by the task that you have at hand. Does that sound good for you guys? One of the last reasons why we fight discipline, I'm going to say this, and it may be questionable. You may agree with it. You may not have ever thought about it. One of the things that interrupts our ability to discipline is disappointment. When we set out to do something, and I'm going to talk about myself, I'm going to share a story really, quickly about what being undisciplined has cost me. So I've been disappointed, right? Have you ever done something and you've done it well, but you didn't see a result? Or you didn't see the result that you desired? Or when you got done, somebody else took credit for it? Or when you were close to finish, somebody came and sabotaged it? Or when you were going through it, people didn't believe in you and they talked against what you were doing? Or when it was finished, nobody noticed. It was underwhelming. Those are very real feelings. Those are very real feelings. But those who know me will know I will say feelings aren't facts. Feelings aren't facts. They're real, but they're not factual. I know for me, I'm a free spirit. I've been a free spirit my whole life, but then I can become laser focused on a particular assignment. So I was a science fair nerd. I was a band geek. Yeah, I played violin, the flute, the oboe, and the bassoon. I was a band geek. I was a science nerd. I was a spelling bee champ. When I had to focus on those things, I could. But even then, because they were easy for me, I never developed strong discipline. Some of us don't have discipline because things have been easy for us in life. Even though we may not recognize it, those graces that we carry, those anointings that we carry, those abilities that we carry, that, oh, that's just me being me. And people are like, oh my God, you're so good at it. Because we're good at it, we don't discipline for it. And without bragging, I'll tell you, I've been good at all the stuff that I set my mind to. I was a straight A student. I didn't develop discipline. I remember in the 6th grade, my mom had to go to school for me because my teacher gave me C's and D's. And I had never received C's and D's in my schoolwork, right? So my mom goes to school with all my papers, all of my assignments. And my assignments had A's, B's. At that time, we still did O's and S's. I may be dating myself, right? O's and S's, outstanding, satisfactory. All my paperwork, I looked good on paper. I looked really good on paper. And when my mom comes to the school with all my paperwork in tow, she's asking my teacher, why is Tiffany getting C's and D's on her report card? All of her paperwork looks good. To which my teacher says, Tiffany doesn't try hard. Tiffany doesn't try hard. If I have a student who tries really hard, but they get C's and D's, I'll give them A's and B's. But Tiffany doesn't try. And so he was out of line, right? He was out of line because my mom was like, if she gets A's and B's without trying and she works hard, like, she works hard enough and she's doing what she needs to do, why are you giving her grades that are against what she is doing? I didn't realize until adult life what that actually meant. He was still in the wrong. He was still in the wrong because I was a little Black girl in a class doing excellent work, better than some of his favorites, right? But he said something that was true, and it would filter through the rest of my life, that I didn't have to try hard, so I didn't discipline myself. I would get assignments for 3 weeks that had a 3-week due date, and I wouldn't do them until the night before. I would have things that I needed to do, and I would wait until the very last minute, procrastinate, and get it done in a pinch. Where's my procrastinators at? Where's my procrastinators at? I got a key, even if you don't confess, right? Creatives tend to be procrastinators, and I'm very creative. So you're in the right company, you're in the right space. Just understand that there's a method and there's an understanding to why you lack discipline. And it's important that you get this because, again, I used to beat myself up sometimes after that because I would be trying to get stuff done and my mind wouldn't work and I couldn't conceptualize what it was that I needed to get done. And so I'm fighting against myself. And then guess what happens? I go, you know what? Forget it. Forget it. It's not even that important. I don't even need to get it done. Right? All of us have been there. All of us have been there. And I just want to tell you that it's not because you just because you're lazy. It's not. There are reasons. Another reason is you're not being fed. Your mind, your body, your spirit are not being fed. The place in you that needs to feel light, that needs to feel encouragement, that needs to feel newness is not being fed. And so when you're starving, it's hard to turn out these exceptional things. I'm just looking and thinking. It's amazing the way our mind triggers, right? And so I'm just going to say a couple more things about the lack. If you see those or some that resonate with you, feel free to put it in the chat. But I just wanted to give you some freedom so that before we get deep into this challenge, you can start to understand again that you're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you per se, right? You just have never been guided correctly as to why your discipline doesn't work. Because believe me, I'd rather be outside with my feet in the sand at the beach any day than be trustled up doing a class. Technology is my nemesis. All of these things, writing emails, I don't like it. And because I don't like it, sometimes it's hard for me to engage. But these are the very things that I need to get it done. And so there are also the little things in your life that you need to engage in that are keeping you from it. So let me see: distraction, frustration, lack of resources, lack of knowledge. How many of us have, I don't know how to do it in our system? I just don't know. I know I need to get something done, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. It's important, again, that in this day, before we do anything, we start to identify. So I'm going to say a couple things, and guys, put it in the box if it goes for you. And when you put it in the box, also write it down, because these are going to be important for you in the following days. How many of us have frustration as part of the reason why we haven't finished some of the stuff? We're feeling frustrated. Just put it in the chat. Frustrated. Well, actually, frustration, put it number one. Frustration, number one. I lost my pen. Sorry. Right? Okay. So distracted. Number two. Give me a 2 if you're distracted. Distraction could be, again, your family. It could be your job. It could be your bills. It could be Facebook, TikTok, IG. You rather pick that up than put it down and focus and face what is challenging you. 3, give me a 3 if you feel like you have something to do, but you lack the knowledge to do it. 3, if you feel like you lack the knowledge to get done what it is that you need to. Give me a 4 if you feel like you don't have the resources. Okay. You know what strikes me was very interesting about this? If you look into the boxes, if you look into the chat box, literally most of the answers are 1 and 2. Most of the answers are 1 and 2. So that means we probably have what we need in our hand in order to get it done. But we just need that little turnaround, that little come around for us to get into alignment and get into place. Does that make sense? Does that resonate? It's time for us to declutter, to organize, to lift up ourselves to get these things done. The frustration is normal. Do you feel like you have a better understanding of maybe why you're frustrated about what you're doing? Because we've identified some things. I can't display it well on here. I don't know how to do that, guys. I told y'all this is my first challenge, so thank you for bearing with me. But in the group, there is going to be a guide that's going to help you all to get through this challenge. And you can do it now or you can start later, but I'm going to ask you some of the questions. So what you're going to need to do is write out 3 to 5 goals that you had or have still this year. Write them out. Oh, I get frustrated with technology. You're my best friend. Because believe me, I was crying 2 weeks ago. And then I think I almost shed a tear this morning as I was getting this live set up. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Thank you, Esty. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to put another thing in here that I hadn't said before, right? Oh, I had help. Nikki Ross, who is running the StreamYard. I had help. That's the one thing that I didn't mention. Some of us are lacking discipline because we don't have anybody to keep us accountable. Who in your life is keeping you accountable? Now, accountability is not about somebody riding your back and telling you, you should have had this done. How come you don't have it done yet? Where are you at? That, your sister got it done. Your friend got it done. Look at them on social media. They're finishing it. What's wrong with you? That's not accountability partnership. That is not accountability partnership. And that is not what you will have here, right? You see how natural it is that as I said what my problem was, that the women in this group started to say, hey, I can help. I can help. I can help. That's who you need in your circle. Accountability partnership that does not let you sit down and get comfortable because they know that you could do better, but they will actually encourage you and say, hey, what is it that you need? What is it that you need? And some of us have these people in our lives, but because we don't know how to ask for help, we're over here sitting like little Sally Walker crying when our help is right there, but we refuse to ask. Especially if you are the strong one. If you're the strong friend, if you're the wise friend, I'm the strong friend, I'm the wise friend, but I know how to ask for help. But it took me a while to get there. And my lack of asking for help wasn't because I didn't want anybody to see me weak. I didn't know what help to ask for. How many of y'all have ever had need help, but you just don't even know what help you need to ask for? I didn't know what help to ask for. I knew I had people who would help me, but I didn't know. I don't know what to tell you I need you to help me with. Can you resonate with that? So our goal, again, in this community, even beyond the 7 days, is that we have the help that is present, that is willing, that will encourage, but will also nurture, the kind of help that will press us and say, girl, you got this. Well, what do you need? Do you need me to make you some coffee? Do you need to, do you need me to listen to you read your project? Like, what is it that you need? Accountability, discipline is accountability. And if we don't have accountability, it gets a lot harder. So we have to get accountability partners and partnerships and places in our lives. And again, it's not people who you can commiserate with, because there's a difference in that. How many of y'all know what commiserating people are? They look like, oh yeah, no, nothing ever works. Like they come together and complain together. People who come together and decide to talk about all the negativities, all the gossip, all the other things that are not moving us forward. We need to discipline our mind, discipline our mouth, discipline our body, and discipline our flesh. And we're going to touch all those parts over this next 7 days. So today is actually a light day. I just wanted to get in and do a welcome and do an introduction and give you some things to think about and for us to start up this conversation. So again, here's what you guys get to do today. You need to write 3 goals that you've had, 3 to 5, that you have had in 2022. Have had, still have, right? In 2022. And you get to rank them. Again, this page is going to be in the group. And what the ranking is 1 is still in my mind. It's a goal that's still in my mind. I started January knowing I needed to lose weight, but I didn't do anything about it. And so I'm in December saying I still need to lose weight. That's a goal that's still in your mind. That's something that you need to do that's still in your mind. Number 2 is something that's unfinished, which of course is why you're here. You started it, but it may be in a stage that just looks like not done. The third is it's got to be done, do or die, by the end of the year. What is it you have that has to be done before the year turns? And the fourth one is, I'm not even sure anymore. It's a goal that I started with, but my left took a right, my right took a left. My cat started singing, whatever happened. But for some reason, I just don't even know the purpose of where this goal fits in my life, but it's still looming over me. It's still a burden in my mind. Again, I'm going to put this document actually in the Facebook page, and I mean in the Facebook group, and we're going to be able to discuss it tomorrow. However, what I need everyone to do, please, today, part of accountability, part of discipline, come into the group, introduce yourself, and now that you have this, you can just say an area you need discipline in. If you want to make it a little longer, you can say your 3 goals. And yeah. So do your homework, introduce yourself. That's your first act of accountability and discipline. I know. I want to start. Like I said, I wanted to start light today because I go in deeper in the upcoming days. There's still time for you to invite your friends, invite somebody else to the challenge. We're going to keep on breaking it down, going further, going deeper. We're going to build each other up. We're going to get some resolution to some things done and understand again that we're not alone. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, one more thing. I will be going live again later on this afternoon. It'll actually be 6 p.m. Central my time, which is about 7 Eastern time and 4 Pacific. And then for South Africa is way, way late. So you guys may just see the recording later on, but I'll be doing that a Fountainside chat, like just kind of a brief recap and a more interactive conversation later on in the evening. I'll do that for the rest of the week too, so that we can build it up and keep it going. So any questions you have, anything that comes up, any conversations that you're interested in, or challenges that you're having right now, we can discuss them at the Fountainside chat. That'll be about 6 o'clock live in the group. Yes, 6 p.m. Do you introduce again if you've already done so? If you have not done a video, I would like for you to do a video. But if you've done that already, then you're ahead of the group. Thank you. And then you'll just have to write down your goals and then categorize them. That's going to be the big thing, because when we go into the next days, we're going to break those goals down. Awesome. Awesome. Right. Any other questions? Any things for today? Okay. Okay. So again, there's still time to share the challenge. I really appreciate if you do, if you can. They can still join. And then we're going to dig into it for the rest of the week. I'll be here 12 noon again. The recordings will be live. If you have any questions, post them in the group, and we will get to them. There are 2 admins in the group, Nikki Ross and LaFlower Bowie. So you'll probably see answers or responses that may come from them as well. But we're all here to help and to make this challenge a success. Oh, I didn't even tell you guys. I'm sorry. Like I said, it's my first one. Y'all be patient. Thank you. Thank you. There will be prizes. Right? So the end of, on the 7th day, which is actually Monday, the following Monday, let me give you the itinerary. This week, we're breaking it down. Friday, we're going into action. Saturday, there will be a live hot seat day. Some of y'all like hot seats, some of y'all don't, but on Saturday, we'll be able to, I'll have a couple of people come on and we will dissect your challenges or some things that you have going on. We'll dissect it live for people to see and for you to get resolution that you want and that you need. So it's basically like a good coaching session. I know I have some people who've been in some of my hot seats. They could tell you they work. We'll get some stuff done. And then Sunday is a free day. We'll have something just nice and uplifting on Sunday where you can come in. It's a free day though. And then Monday will be the last day. It will be the wrap up. So on that day, there will be recognition for people who have participated the most, who've commented the most. people who have shared the challenge or engaged with other people within the group the most. Those who have just added value. It's not intricate, it's not tricky. It really is to encourage you to just be present. And so I encourage each person to give yourself the hour. I know you may be at work, I know you may have some other stuff, but this is the first step of discipline. Give yourself the hour, if you can do it live, and come in and partake. But if you can't be live, make sure that you go back and listen to the recording, and make sure that you take the time in that time to apply it to yourself so you can actually get the results that you're looking for. One of the prizes, or two of the prizes, I have a master class that's in January. I'll be giving out 2 scholarships for that. There'll be some books. There will be a couple of prayer guides, some other things going on. No technology, guys, unfortunately. So no iPads, none of those things if you're looking for it. But we're going to get a lot done in this week. So again, I thank you. I appreciate you. And if there are no further questions, I am going to sign out. I'll see you this evening at 6 in the group if you show up. If not, I will see you tomorrow for day 2 of the 12-11 7 Days of Discipline Challenge.